Hi everyone, welcome to my channel. Today we are going to be working on prompt number 5, which has to do with number or a sentiment and a ticket. So we're going to begin working with creating a ticket first, and I'm going to be cutting about a few long strips, 2-inch long strips out of this cardstock, and so we will have about 4 strips, and I want to work on all of them at the same time, and we can have different designs on these. If you are new to my channel, my name is Lucy, and this is Memory Keeper Journals. Thank you all for subscribing and enjoy the video. So now you'll see me folding them in 2 parts and burnishing them to make them look like tickets, and I'm measuring it in my journal because I want to make sure that I actually can fit it in it. And I wanted to originally use these tickets as a belly band. I'm not sure if I'm going to put anything in it, but I will be creating a belly band with it. So in the meantime, I am folding all of them, making sure that they're all bent in 4 pieces. And now we are going to begin creating the little notches on it to make it look more like a ticket. So I'm going to be using a punch, or this punch holder that I have here. But first we are going to create like a perforation between them, so that way they can be stripped or taken apart or teared apart easily. So I do it with my sewing machine, but you could still use a very pointy tool, a needle, or a awl, but I'm going to be using my sewing machine, as you can see here. And there's the perforation, so it makes it a lot easier for you to actually rip them apart. So that is the first thing that I do, and then I will cut the notches in each little corner to make it look more like a ticket. I first learned how to do this with Martina at Teal and Tattered, but I've also seen how Barbara from 49 Dragonfly does it. So I've pretty much do it around the same way that they do it, but I have my own way of decorating it and using some scraps, and I will show you in a few. So here I'm actually showing you with a pokey tool how you can actually create the little holes in between the ridges. So you can do one by one, or you could use a ruler so that it could be an even amount of holes, or randomly, it doesn't matter. I've done it like that before I had my sewing machine, so it works either way. So now we're going to use the I don't know, what is this called? It's a punch hole. I don't know. Anyway, I'm creating the little snippets on the end, and then I do it in between. And at one point I tried to fold it so that I could do it pretty fast, but it was not going through. I don't think my hand is really strong enough to be able to do it through 4 pieces of paper, but double it works perfectly fine. And then I go through each and every one of these strips and do the same thing. And there you have it. Now we have tickets. Now we're going to prep them and have them ready. So I'm still looking to see what it is that we're going to do, whether it is in a sentiment or if it's a number, but at this time all I want to do is prep everything that I'm going to be using. So I'm taking my scraps, cutting them in tiny little pieces so that they actually fit in the ticket, and I'm going to create a background before I can do a focal point. So here I just do little pieces of written papers. It could be dictionary paper, it could be music paper. I have wallpaper also that I was gifted, and I just cut them in little pieces so I could use it as well in the background. And the white paper with the words there is actually from TaylorMade. It's the art of writing, it's called. There's a digital that she has on her Etsy shop. I might just go ahead and put it in the description box in case you guys are interested in getting that. The other sheets that I have, like the music paper and all, those are vintage papers that I have gotten gifted to me as well in Happy Mail. Here is where I do the wallpaper as well. And this is also a vintage wallpaper. They're real. So the whole purpose of this is for me to collage on the tickets, and you will see. Oh, and these little stamps right here that I'm cutting right now are what I did with stamps in all of those pieces of strips of paper that I have left over. After cutting the pages to fit into a journal, I save them in my scrap box here, and then what I do is I take them out and I do stamping on them, and then I could use them later for like a washi tape, or I cut them in little pieces for collaging or decorating the edge of a page. So you'll see I will use those also for the collaging on this ticket. I'm also using vintage paper from the book of Edith Holden. So I cut them in little pieces just for the wording, because those are the parts that sometimes I don't use in the journals. So I use those little pieces either for collaging, or I make envelopes, or tickets, or tags, anything like that. And here I have another old wallpaper, which I'm tearing with this ruler from We Are Memory Keepers. It is so much easier to cut it this way to make it with ridges at the end. So like if you're tearing a paper, but it has those ridges at the end of the ruler to create that for you. So it's a lot easier for my hands too. Here you see one of the strips that I have. And those are the ones that I use, and I cut in pieces and collage, or use my washi tape if I use the whole strip. But this time around, I'm just going to use them on my ticket. All right, so now I'll clean up and we begin to collage these on the ticket. And as you can see, I start with the biggest pieces. That's how I've learned with Martina at Only Tattered, because it makes it easy for you to begin something that it's completely blank and you don't know where to start. So you can just add from there. And I'm using glue stick, but I'm also using wet glue because the wallpaper is pretty thick. If you only use the glue stick, it might not keep. It doesn't stay stuck together to the paper long enough. It would just peel off again. So I have to use a permanent glue just so that it sticks and it stays on. If I could only work this fast, that would be amazing, because it actually took more than 2 hours to do this, as I take my time just to make sure that everything looks good. and then I just edit the video, or I I fast forward it pretty quickly throughout the repetitive stuff, just so that you don't get bored watching the same thing over and over. Here, I'm also learned the rule of three, so that's what I'm doing. I'm putting 3 pieces of paper in each ticket, and then after that I will do the focal point, which would probably be either the number or the sentiment. I'm not sure at this point when I was creating it, but I do know now because I'm doing the voiceover. But originally I did not know exactly what I was going to do yet. And all of them have a little difference in them because of the color palette in the background. Depending on the hues of each of the papers, all of them, some of them have a more yellowy or gray kind of look, so it makes every ticket look a little different, which I like too, because then you have choices to use it anywhere in any journal as well. So you can create a whole bunch of these for a while, and just put them aside, and you can use them anytime that you create a journal. And I did show you the oxides. I have the blue one, which is Salvage Patina. It's the only one I have. And then, of course, the vintage photo that I always use. Well, it's not the only one I have. I have a pink one as well, but I don't use it very often. And this is probably my last ticket. And my table is probably shaky a little bit, only because I put the tripod on the other side this time around, just so that it works a little bit better than it has in the previous videos, where I actually have to move it around because for some reason it would just kept falling off, and it just needed to be tightened a little bit more, and it needed a more stable spot. So hopefully that helps for you guys to enjoy that. See, so now I save all of the little scraps that I have left over, and I could use those next time. And there I noticed I found a number, so I figured let me see if I find another strip that has a number, and maybe I can add it, but then I decided not to. So now here we have all 4 of them done, and they all look different. And I found these little squares. They look like little tiles, tiny mini tiles. They're so cute, and I saw them in Dollar Tree, and I had to buy it. I just didn't know what I was going to do with them, and I've had them for a while now. And I was trying to see if it had like a sticker, or if it was a tape or something, but it didn't. So I was definitely planning on gluing these together on the tickets. The only thing I wasn't sure was if I was going to put 4 or 3 of different colors in each ticket, or just 1 in each ticket. But I end up just putting 1, but all of them have a different color. So I chose the colors blue in 3 different shades, and a yellow. And you'll see what I do with them. I have other colors, pink and I believe green, but I didn't use them in this one. I think I had to pick another. See, that's the pink one, but it's very light. I just thought maybe another shade of blue would be good, and I think I did find another shade. It was dark, a darker color blue, and it was really nice. And there it is. I don't know why the camera makes it look like it's a purple color, but it's not. It's actually blue. But you'll see. I will do some pictures and I will add it into my Instagram so that you can see it in close up. So here I was just trying to decide where would it look better on. depending on the color. I like the dark blue with the paper, the wallpaper. And now that I picked a perfect spot for each and every one of them, I figured now I can glue them with the wet glue, which is a permanent glue. That way they don't come off. So you just have to leave it there to dry because it takes a little bit when it's a wet glue. And I didn't want it for it to come off or break the papers that I use for collaging. Now we can work on the focal point. So now I'm going to look at these and I'm thinking of using my stamps as a focal point. So I have stamps of wording of sentiments and things like that, or words, nice words that we can say, like amazing, like you saw here in one of those, and this one that has the word dream. So I first began with the word love because that's the one I wanted. And I'm going to stamp it on each individual ticket with archival ink. This way they don't come off. It's a permanent thing. But as I was trying to put it on, I didn't realize that the block was getting stuck with or on top of the little square tiles, and it wasn't allowing for the stamp to completely stamp on the ticket. So I had to be moving it around a lot on the block just to be able to set it up. So I didn't think about this before I put those little tiles, and next time I know that if I'm going to put something that is a little bit raised, then I need to do that last. If I'm going to stamp, of course. I really like the way those came out. It's simple, it doesn't have that much on it, but it's just pretty. Besides, I tried to find any excuse to use my stamps because if I don't, I won't use them. So I have to keep them beside me. Otherwise, I will forget that I have them. So at one point, I just decided that now I'm going to just stamp it on coffee dye paper and distress it and then glue it onto the ticket so that it looks a little bit more raised, and something else that I've added to the ticket as well besides the little tile. And it actually looks a lot better than me just stamping it directly to the ticket on top of the background that I did as a collage. And I believe it because it's words, you needed something for it to stand out. I may have, maybe I should have actually put something underneath that paper as well, like maybe some lace or fabric or something that would make it stand out a little bit more now that I see it through this video as I'm doing the voiceover. And yes, it looks really cute on top of the background, but I feel like I needed something else on there. But at least, but it still looks cute, and I can still use it this way. So now that everything is completely done, I just distressed the edge of each and every ticket. even in between them where the perforation is. And here are the whole final 4 strips of tickets that I created. They all look a little different. And now I'm just going to audition which one I would like to put on the page as a belly band. So I knew that the ones that were directly stamped onto the ticket I did not want to use on the book, but the ones that I added a little bit of paper, one says hello, and I believe the other one said thinking of you. And the one that said thinking of you is the one that I decided to use in the book as a belly band. And guys, I'm really sorry. I have been trying my best to keep myself in frame with the video, and I did not notice that my journal was not showing on the bottom of it. So I was trying to show you here that the ticket can be taken apart. You can use it for a book cover decoration or a corner like tuck, or even a decoration on a page. And yeah, you probably didn't see the portion where I put the ticket on the bottom for it to show like a little pocket. But now that the tickets are done and I feel like I needed something else, so I took it back to my machine and I added some stitches around it, as you can see here, just randomly in different places, so that it's it has a little bit of a texture, and I like it. I did take one apart because obviously I could only fit 3 tickets in this page. But first I'm going to get rid of the strings from the sewing. Some people like it. I, for some reason, feel like it's too much. It already has a lot on the ticket, so I don't think it looks good with it on. So I just cleaned it all off. And then decided, okay, maybe I should do some splatters on it in that blue color that I love so much. And then I thought of another idea, which was to create some butterflies. I love butterflies and I love flowers. And in this journal, for some reason, I've been using so much orange. I love fall colors, especially the leaves. And I have this 12 by 12 paper pad from Paper Studio, and decided, okay, I'm going to use this one and create butterflies. So I grabbed a piece of cardstock that I had from one of my purchases that I bought, and I glued the paper on that cardstock to make it a little bit sturdier to do the butterflies. I was going to use my Sizzix to do the cutouts for it, and also use my Tim Holtz. They're called thinlits, and they are butterflies. So one of them is like a full-on butterflies without any holes in them, and then the other one has holes in them. And I believe the number is 661802 if you're interested in getting it. If I find it, I can put it below in my description box. But I did find this in the Hobby Lobby store, and that's where I purchased it. So now that I glued it on this paper, I'm going to go ahead and put all of the butterflies onto this, and I can run it through my Sizzix. So 2 of them are solids and 2 of them have the little holes in between them, and I'm going to glue them together. I think that's the purpose of this specific die, but I had a problem here. The ones that were solid actually came out fine, and I think because it grabbed the whole card, the cardstock, so I was able to pull it out, even though it was still a little bit difficult to take it apart. There was some little parts that were stuck together and I couldn't do it, and I think it's because the cardstock is thick for that specific thinlet. So maybe I should have ran it over and over, maybe more than 2 times, but the other 2 couldn't come out, so I had to do it all over again and throw that one out because it got ruined, and do it on just the regular paper. So I cut a piece of it, and piece enough, a big piece enough that I can put the other two butterflies on it and run it through my Systex machine again. And I finally got the ones that have the little holes, so I had to take it apart with this little pokey tool, just get all the little pieces out and try to get the butterfly out without tearing it apart, because it's so delicate. After you take all those little pieces out, it can break easily, especially if it's just a single sheet of paper as thin as this one was. Now I will glue it on top of the butterfly that is solid with some permanent glue, and there you have it. You see how cute these butterflies are. They become like a 3D effect butterfly, which are my favorites. I've created my own where I put 3 or 4 butterflies on top of each other, and they are come out really good. But I actually love the double butterfly to make a 3D effect. Look how cute that looks. I realized too late that one of them had, like, the background of the butterfly was like words in the background, which it would have been cute for it to show, but I didn't put it that way. I just rather just use the orange portion of it because it looks so much better anyway, and that's the color that I wanted to use so that it can match with the page before. So now I'm going to be using the butterfly as another focal point decoration on the belly band. And since I'm not going to take these tickets apart, I can add the butterflies in between where the perforation is to show the 3D effect of the butterfly, which I love so much. Is one of my favorite things to do in my journals and the journals that I create for purchases. It doesn't matter. I love butterflies on everything besides flowers. And it came out so cute, guys. I really do love it. So now I'm going to go ahead and get the journal and go into the following page next to where I did my coin envelope and add the belly band. And now it matches perfectly with that side. And now I'm going to add a gilded wax, which is vintage gold that I always use on all of my creations. And I am going to put it on the butterfly first and then randomly throughout the ticket where it looks a little empty or it needed something to be added there, but it was just a small space, so I figured I'd just add gilded wax on it and have some gold all over, which is fine. I love gold. Plus it'll match with the butterfly on the page where the coin envelope is. That is gold as well. And I'm really happy with this result. I do it with a paintbrush because it's a lot easier to get through each of the little crevices. Instead of using my fingers, it will be a total mess. If I wanted a messy look, then I would use my fingers and I would just put it everywhere. But in the meantime, this is what I really wanted to do at the moment. And it came out so nice. You'll see. And like I said, just follow me on my Instagram. You can see much closer pictures of these creations that I make, and you can see how cute they are, and you can see all the little details in each and every one of them. Now I'm going to go ahead and put some permanent glue on the top and on the bottom of the tickets and glue it to the page. And there's the belly band. It's so cute. I mean, I could have done different things on the page. I could have done a stenciling or something on it, but I decided just to leave it blank. And I'm not sure if I'm going to put anything inside of the belly band. I could just leave it like that so that when I do the swap, she can add whatever she wants in it. She can add a letter, an envelope, it doesn't matter, a tag, it doesn't matter. Anything she wants, she can add in there. You see how cute it looks? So like I said, I'm gonna have everything in the description box so you guys can follow through my IG, check my Etsy shop, and also don't forget to subscribe and hit the notification bell so that you can keep track of all of the videos and all of the upcoming journals that are gonna come, that I'm gonna be sharing flip throughs of. That will be soon. I'm hoping I can get it done within another week. I have a few journals that I'm working on that it's a lot of work and I need more inspiration so that I can actually fill them up. But yeah, I really want you guys to keep watching and seeing all of the creations that I have to share. And as you can see here, now I'm using these numbers. They're stamp that I got at I believe it's Paper World, can't remember, but I think that's what it is. And so I'm adding a number to each of the page, so you know how it's every prompt has a number. Here is prompt number 3, and then now I'm going to stamp prompt number 2, which is the playing cards, and then number 1, of course, which was the tag that I made with the bear. And so from now on, I'm going to go ahead and stamp the number on each and every ephemera that I make for this journal in dephemerember. And look how cute it looks, guys. I just love it. It's perfect. Okay, so this is the end. See you in the next one. Bye, guys.